Good afternoon and welcome to another episode of Unscripted and Unchained RPG Review. I am DMBluddworth, and as you can see by the graphics, today's video I am celebrating yesterday, which was the birth date of Robert E. Howard. So Robert E. Howard was born on June 22nd, 1906, and as you can tell, I'm a huge fan. He is my favorite author, and I wanted to just go through and show you a few items that I have in my Robert E. Howard collection that I highly recommend that you take a look at. Some of these are really high-end collectibles, and then others are just probably the best choice of reading his stories in their original. So without further ado, let's go right to what I have here to show you today. So probably the most expensive and hardest to get set of Conan stories, and they do have some other storylines in this series. So I know that there's one for Bran McMorn, and then there's another for Solomon Kane. But it is the Robert E. Howard collection that was put out by Wandering Star back in the, I want to say, and actually I might as well just take a look at the book and see when this was released in limited edition. And this was this is the ultra limited edition 2002. Okay, so there's three books in the set. So this is volume 1, and it covers his stories from 1932 to 1933, and it is illustrated by Mark Schultz. And I actually opened up the seal to take a look at this one. Then volume 2 is the Conan stories just from 1934. This is illustrated by Gary Gianni. And actually I had opened up this one as well. And this is the one that came with the certificate of authenticity. And it's a limited edition number of 555. And then to complete out the set, I have volume number 3, and this one is still in its seal because there was no reason to open it up. Manchas, and as you can see, this is number 55 in the, or it is numbered 55. I'm not sure what it actually, what that actual label stands for. But anyway, let's take a look at one of the books, and I just wanted to do a slight flip through. So one of the big things about this series of books is that there are these fairly large, really crisp colored plates that are inside each one. But you can see otherwise it is beautifully illustrated on various parts. The stock and everything is certainly, tremendous. So this one here is number 455 of 1950 and signed by the artist Mark Schultz. And then we go, and here are the plates. So we'll go to page 129. And I'm being very, very gentle with this because I really don't open these up. But I mean, you can see some of the interior art here. And this isn't even one of the highlighted color plates. This is just a black and white sketch in here. So let's go to page 129. Here's another piece of black and white art. And we will go to page 129. and there's a very nice color plate. Let's see if we can let that get caught up. Let's see. Nope, didn't zoom in yet. It might be a little too far. Let's come on down. There we go. And as you can see, really incredible. This is probably Queen of the Black Coast. Yes, it is. So there is Belit or Belet, however you pronounce it. Just amazing, amazing artwork in this here. Let it get caught up. And sometimes the auto, there we go. Sometimes the autofocus doesn't always work, but throughout, just beautiful, beautiful book there. Now, I will switch views. So, now as I said, these are really quite expensive. They are, I just checked on eBay now to see what they're running for, and they're still between the high threes, low 400 per book. When I purchased these, I purchased the set of 3 for $600 when they were kind of marketing around between 12 and 1600 for the set of 3. So so I still, you know, I've had them now for a few years now, and I'm still well below the current price that they're going for. I've seen some as much as $800 for one book, which is insane, but that's high end. So if you're a collector like I am, and I'm slowly working on my gnome press from the 1950s, but you know, these are obviously not reading books. These are books to, you know, reseal, you know, put them in, you know, nice coverings if you didn't break the seal originally, and then just put them on the bookshelf for them to be there. For reading, this is the best series of Robert E. Howard's books. Not just Conan, but there's all of them in these. I guess they call these trade paperbacks. So they're somewhat larger, decent sized print. I'll actually switch views there so you can see this here. So and these are put out by Ballantine Books, Del Rey. And the great thing about these is that they are written or reprints of his original stories. Back in the 1950s, particularly for the Gnome Press, printings of Robert E. Howard stories, many of the words and such were altered, kind of, you know, brought up to the times of the 1950s, which you can imagine if they're printing them now, how they would have to still bring them up to our modern day sensibilities. But these printings that were done in, I always have a hard time finding when these things are. So this was 2004. So this is the first American edition, 2004. And these are recreations of his original writing. So not modified in any way. And so, yes, you're getting Robert E. Howard's writings from the 1930s, and you know, there are things in here that some people may find offensive today. So this particular one here is the Bloody Crown of Conan. So I believe this is the third in the series. I just grabbed it off my shelf, so I didn't really check. but there were also plates in here as well. So let's take a look at page 13 is the first one. And so there you have black and white in this case. So there you have the plates, and I believe all the art in this one is by Gary Gianni. But once again, just incredible artwork throughout the book. This is the these are great. Get them on. I think that print, and so if you are going to read books, they all look like this, and there's certainly his different characters and different settings and such as well, you know, in this series of books. So get your hands on it. So I know this is one day delayed. I was a little bit under the weather yesterday, so I didn't get, you know, quite around to doing this. But yesterday was June 22nd, the 115th birthday anniversary of Robert E. Howard, and there was so much influence that Robert E. Howard had, not only in fantasy fiction but also in role-playing games as well, and not just, you know, the Conan RPGs that are out there, whether it be TSRs or Mongoose Press or now the more recent Modifius role-playing games, but Robert E. Howard has influenced other role-playing games such as Dungeons and Dragons or you know, Palladium's fantasy, or basically just about any fantasy RPG that is out there has had some influence of Robert E. Howard, you know, inspired into its own writing. So once again, thanks for joining. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please give it a thumbs up if you did. If you have any questions or comments, you know, if you'd like for me to spend some more time with my Robert E. Howard collection, you know, just put a comment in the comment section and I will break out some more things. I know I was doing a series quite a while ago of graphic novels and Conan comics, which I have a ton of, so I can always go back to doing some of those as well. If you haven't subscribed, please consider subscribing. You know, continuous slow growth of the channel is you know, really something that that helps out, and you know, I'm approaching someplace. I'm about 30 subs short of 1,200, so it's going well. And again, stay safe out there, and I look forward to seeing you on the gaming screen sometime soon. I just completed my my collection of Modifius's Conan 2D20 system, and so yeah, when I double checked and I saw, like, there are 20 hard covers for it, and I just received the last 7 of that. So I will be looking to play some of that in the upcoming weeks, and so again, there's a very good chance that I may see you on the gaming screen sometime soon for some Conan. You all have a great afternoon. Take care.